Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. We're going to be talking about verbs. So I know you guys all know what a verb is, but I'm just going to say that a verb is a doing word. Okay? So what we mean by doing word is that it performs an action. So we've already talked about inflection, and I did mention, I think, in the previous video that verbs have endings. And I just want to reiterate that point. Verbs have endings, and the purpose of those endings is to tell us basically very important information about the nature of that verb and its function in a sentence. So inflection in verbs actually tells us two key things. And this is very, very important, so do pay attention. It tells us two key things. One is like sort of when the action was carried out, or is carried out, whatever. When the action happened, or happens. So just that when, and we call that tense. So I mean, if you study other modern languages, you'll be very familiar with the idea of tense, and you should be very familiar with that idea. And the second thing verbs tell us is sort of who carried out the action. So i.e., was it the dog? Was it her? Was it him? Was it the mother? Was it the father? Just who. And we call this person. Okay? So who and when. Those are the two key things that the endings of a verb tells us. So we're going to get into tense later, but obviously you've got your present tense, you've got your perfect, your future, etc., etc. Today we're going to be talking about the present tense. And with person, you've got first person, you've got second person, and you've got third person. So first person is I or we. So I in the singular, we in the plural. Second person is you singular, you plural. And third person is he, she, or it in the singular, and they in the plural. There's also a term called conjugation. And there are different conjugations of verbs, and these just refer to different families of verbs that share similarities and kind of patterns. So similarities in sort of their endings and sort of how they go. And I just said how they go. In Latin we say how they conjugate. So we say conjugation. Okay, so we've already talked a little bit about conjugation. Now we're actually going to get into the present tense of a first conjugation verb. So I'll talk a bit more about this later, but there are 4 conjugations in Latin. And amo, which we've got here, meaning I love, is a first conjugation verb. And we are going to be talking about the present tense of this verb. So you will have noticed here that I've already written down a few numbers and SG and PL. So what that means is this is just singular, that's just plural, and then 1, 2, 3 stand for the different persons. So you have first person, second person, third person. We already discussed this, and for each of those you've got singular and plural. So for example, first person singular is just going to be I, and then third person plural would be they. Okay. And then here I've written down the stem. So I've already talked about the endings of a verb. The stem is effectively the part of the verb that actually just stays the same. So you have the stem that stays the same throughout all the tenses, throughout everything. And then the endings are then added onto that stem. So in this case, the stem of amo, I love, is am. Okay? And now we're going to add on the endings. I'll do that in a different colour. Yellow, possibly. And here we go. amo, amas. Actually, sorry, you can't really see that, can you? That's not a good color to go with. We will go with red. Amo, ama, oops. Amo, amas, amat, amamus. Oh, sorry. Forgive me, my tablet keeps doing that. Amamus, amant. Amamus, sorry, amatis. Amant. Okay? So we'll go through that again. Amo, amas, amat, amamus, amatis, amant. And you'll probably notice similarities with how other verbs, but in other languages go. So in Spanish, you have your AR verbs like hablar. I don't know if any of you study Spanish, but that basically goes hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, hablan. So you can obviously see the similarities with the Latin. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And see you in the next one.